Hey everyone, and welcome in. Ever been in a bookshop, just happily browsing and thought, I could work here?
Hmm.
Well, today's deep dive is for you.
Yeah.
We're taking a look at a career guide from RoleCatcher
Okay.
about what it really takes to be a specialized bookshop seller. And
Interesting.
we're going beyond, those dusty shelves and the timid clerks,
Right. Right.
and really thinking about the passion, expertise, even a dash of literary matchmaking.
Yeah. And that's a key point right there. You're
Yeah.
not just selling these books,
Mm-hmm.
you're selling an experience. This guide really digs into that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the guide even uses this phrase, literary matchmaker.
Oh, I like that.
I love that. So, okay, it's not enough to just point someone to the bestseller list.
No, 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 not at all. Imagine someone walks into a bookshop.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get a gift for Father's Day
Right.
for their dad.
Mm.
And this dad, he loves historical fiction. And that's all they know.
Right.
That's where the specialized seller, they have to come in and they're like a detective almost, asking all the right questions to really crack the case of the perfect book.
Yeah.
Like, what eras does he like?
Mm-hmm.
Does he want something that moves really fast, like a thriller? Or is it more about the characters?
It's about understanding what they want, even if they don't know how to, articulate it themselves.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it reminds me, actually, of this one time I was trying to buy a gift for my niece.
Okay.
And I went into this bookstore, and the bookseller would not let me settle for just any fantasy novel.
Oh, wow.
They asked me about, what she was studying in school, what kind of characters she liked in movies.
Wow.
And then they, led me to this book, and she's still raving about it. It was the perfect recommendation.
That's amazing.
But the guide also mentions some pretty unexpected challenges.
Yeah, yeah. This is where it gets good.
Okay.
So the guy claims that 57% of the role is about persuasion.
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 Okay.
Now, that might seem like a lot, but when you think about it,
Yeah.
online, you can get any book, right?
Right.
You can get any book for a discount. So the specialized bookstore, it's got to be about something else.
Okay. So you're not just like a cashier.
No.
You're a literary salesperson.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
You're selling an escape. This connection that you get when you connect with a story, and that takes a lot of work. You have to listen.
Yeah.
You have to understand people.
Right.
And then you recommend something that really is going to work for them. The guide even compares it to being like a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
You're uncovering these hidden reading desires.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm starting to see the depth here. But beyond the art of persuasion,
Mm-hmm.
what other challenges does it highlight?
Well, okay. So being surrounded by books,
Yeah.
it sounds kind of idyllic, right?
Yeah.
But it's not all, sunshine and roses.
Okay.
It does say you can have some flexible hours. You get to be around books, of course.
Right.
But there's some downsides. There aren't as many jobs.
Okay.
And you always have online retailers that you're competing with.
Yeah. That's true.
And oftentimes the salary is lower than other retail jobs.
Yeah, that's true. But it really does sound like for the right person, even if it's not, the best paying job,
Yeah.
the rewards can be pretty amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And the guide, it actually goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it emphasizes the sense of community that you get at a specialized bookshop.
Okay.
So online, yeah, you have these algorithms, right?
Mm.
But you don't get that feeling of walking into a shop and it's been curated. You can smell the ink, the paper.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It is. It's like a bibliophile's dream,
Exactly.
Speaking of which, if someone wants to trade their comfy reading chair
Yeah.
for a shot at this job,
Right.
what skills does the guide say are essential?
So obviously you have to love to read, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's some surprising things in here,
Okay.
like negotiation.
Negotiation.
Negotiation. So imagine you're at a book fair
Okay.
and you're trying to get this new author some space.
Right.
Or like you're trying to convince a publisher to give your shop this early release.
Oh, wow.
They're really advocating for these books.
I didn't even think of it like that. So you're not just recommending, you're championing these books.
Yeah, you become like a voice for these stories.
Wow.
And of course, you have to be a good listener.
Right. You can't just talk about Tolstoy all day, right?
Right, exactly. Nobody wants to hear that. You have to figure out, what is this person's reading personality?
Yeah.
What do they like?
That makes sense. What about sales and marketing? That seems, I don't know, a little corporate, maybe.
Okay, so it's not about being pushy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Think about it more like, how can you be creative with your storytelling?
Okay.
How do you set up the displays to get people's attention?
Right.
What kind of events can you do to get people into the store?
Mm-hmm.
And the guide even suggests, like, starting a book blog.
Oh, now that's something I can get behind.
Right.
Witty reviews, beautiful pictures,
Exactly.
interviews with authors.
Exactly. You're building your own little world online, right?
Yeah.
Showing people that you're passionate about this.
Yeah.
It's like a portfolio for reading.
Right.
And speaking of portfolios, the guide also mentions internships,
Okay.
volunteering,
Okay.
like at book fairs or any kind of book-related event.
Yeah, that's a good way to get experience, to
Well,
meet people.
Yeah, you can learn the ropes from people that have been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
See what it's all about.
And get a sneak peek at, like, the new releases.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the guide really pushes this idea that you're always learning.
Right.
You never stop learning.
It's true, yeah. There's always something new.
Always. New authors, new books.
Trends.
Exactly. New trends. It's a lot to keep up with, but it's fun.
Yeah, and the guide mentions, like, going to workshops.
Yes.
Keeping up with newsletters, being part of online communities.
Be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And that actually reminds me of something else from the guide.
Okay.
It's this idea of, like, career paths. This isn't just a,
Right.
you know,
I'm not a dead end.
it's not a dead-end job. This guide actually talks about real career growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you could work your way up to, like, managing the store.
Yeah. Imagine that. You're not just recommending the books.
Right.
You're curating whole sections.
Wow.
Maybe even the whole store. You get to decide what goes on the shelves.
You're like a tastemaker.
Exactly. You're deciding what people are going to read.
That's a lot of power. It's like being
It is a lot of power.
like a curator,
Yeah.
but for books.
For books. Yeah. And if you really love business, the guide says you could even become a buyer for a whole chain of bookstores.
So you're going to the book fairs, you're like meeting with all the publishers.
Exactly.
They're like begging you to carry their books.
You have all the power.
That's amazing. But this guide also mentioned something I thought was really interesting. This idea that it's not just about working in a bookstore.
Right.
Right.
Could actually work in, like publishing.
It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Think about it. You know exactly what readers want.
You've been on the front lines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the guide specifically mentions becoming a literary agent.
Wow. Okay, so you're taking your passion
Mm-hmm.
and you're helping get more great books out into the world.
You're like this champion for these new voices. And this is why networking is so important.
Yeah.
The guide talked about that a lot. It's about meeting people.
It's not just like schmoozing at a party.
No, not at all.
It's about like meeting people who love books.
Yeah, like real connections. You're at a reading.
Yeah.
You're at a book signing. You're in online communities.
Yeah.
It's all about the connections. You never know.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might meet your next favorite author or like a
Great.
mentor. Exactly.
Someone who can help you in your career.
It's all about finding your people, you know?
Yeah. People who get it,
Yeah.
who understand why you love books so much.
Yes.
There really is like this whole community. And it made me realize I need to actually talk to the people at my bookstore more.
Right.
Not just like, where's the bathroom, but like,
What are you reading?
yeah, what are you excited about?
What should I read next?
Right. Ask for a real recommendation. They always have the best ones.
Always.
So I think the big takeaway here is like, appreciate these booksellers.
Yes.
They work so hard
You really.
to bring like the world of books to life.
And it's more than just a job, right?
It's a passion.
It's a passion.
Well said. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
It does.
Until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Happy reading.